What is going on, everybody? I am Maverick Mike, and we're back again for another weekly Watchers looking to make some money this week. Let's get it. So if you're new here, I've been doing this every single week, every Monday for the past about 2 or 3 months now. We're trying to make it a more consistent thing, and going into the new year, be on the lookout because I'm going to try to make it consistent as possible. So hit that subscribe button if you are into videos like this. Today we're reviewing the Christmas/holiday week potential opportunities. And before I dive into any of that, I just want to say Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays to everybody. Blessed to be a part of the trading community that I am and a part of all of the people that I've met over my trading career in my past 10 years. I'm very thankful, and I hope all of you guys have a wonderful holiday. Now, during holiday weeks, it usually is a slower time. There's not as much volume. There's usually not as much opportunity. And this week is a 3.5-day week. We have a half day on Wednesday for Christmas Eve, and we're off on Thursday. And then next week, it's the same thing. We have another 3.5-day week for New Year's. So we're kind of leading into a 7-day span that's a little bit slower potentially. But if there's opportunity, I'm going to go after it. And last week, there was tons of opportunity, and the Maverick team did wonderful. We actually were able to go 8 for 8 last week, winning on every single one of our trades and taking advantage of my favorite sector that I started trading all the way back in 2015 when I first ever traded, and that's the cannabis sector. So that's where we're going to start our video today, in the sector watch list, the cannabis sector that I like to watch. And I'm releasing this video, or I'm recording this video on Monday. It's probably going to be released at the end of the day or possibly by tomorrow. If you're interested in getting this watch list every Monday morning before the market starts, because that's obviously the goal, and the best time that you could take opportunities is usually before the market starts, then come join us in the Stock Mavericks room. That's actually this chat that you see here with all this stuff above. But we are in the weekly watch list. It's called the Stock Mavericks room on simplertrading.com. So come check me out if you would like to see these right away. But right now we got the weed stocks, and the weed stocks were good to us last week, so let's see if we can get a bounce this week. If you aren't familiar what happened last week with the weed stocks, Trump on Friday, there was rumors, I guess on Friday, that popped up that Trump is possibly going to declassify cannabis, meaning he's going to move it from, I think, a Schedule 3 to a Schedule 1, or Schedule 1 to a Schedule 3. Whatever way he does it, it's going to make it so it isn't on the same list as cocaine and heroin, and now doctors, pharmaceutical companies can now study on cannabis. Supposedly, cannabis is a plant that has tons of health benefits. I've seen stuff personally happen that's really cool, so I do believe in it, and I do think, if there is ways that we could avoid side effects, especially the ugly side effects that some of these pharmaceutical drugs are out there, or if there are ways to, fix things quicker. I mean, supposedly Alzheimer's is something that everybody hates. We're all going to get older one day, and how great would it be to kind of solve stuff like that? So, when I was younger, AIDS and HIV, that was like the big thing that everybody was scared of. Now it's like a normal thing. No, it's not normal, but I'm just saying, you never know where the future's going, and obviously we're continuing. Everybody wants the world, hopefully, to be a better place. So with that being said, hopefully cannabis could bring it there. And that's what Trump did. The rumor started on Friday, and it spiked. Cannabis stocks spiked all the way up until the news was actually signed. So if you watched last week when the news came out, we actually took advantage of an overnight play here. We then took advantage of an overnight play here, and then we took advantage of 3 different shorts on this day. And if you're wondering what stock I'm looking at, this is MSOS. It's the ETF for cannabis. If I watch cannabis stocks, I like to watch MSOS and CGC. Those are usually the top 2 I watch, and that's why I have alerts all over the place for these right now. But they're both coming back to key levels, and that's what we're going to talk about today. How can we take advantage of them this week? Well, they're doing exactly what I wanted. Earlier today, I said I wanted another downward day, and that's exactly what we're getting. Now, this downward day is causing it to come down to where that spike originally started. So now we have some key things that need to happen for me to try to take advantage. If cannabis stocks just keep fading away, then I won't probably ever touch them again. until they heat back up. And that's a possibility. So even though I'm going to go over this with you right now, that doesn't mean these have to pop. They have to first do what I'm looking for. And that's why I always say the educated trader is going to be the one that makes money, and the uneducated is probably the one that gives back to the market. And that's why the statistic is there's 90% of the uneducated traders out there that lose money and 10% that actually win only. And I think it's solely because of stuff like this. You heard about what Trump did on Thursday, and you instantly bought cannabis stocks, and on Thursday it tanked once he did it. So that is not the way to trade. You don't want to trade the news, you want to trade the price action. So how do we trade price action now? Well, we've fallen for 3 straight days after that news came out. And we're coming back to where the original spike started. So in my opinion, I want the reclaim of that spike. So hopefully we can come back above 470 in MSOS and create a nice first green day back above 5. And that's when I start to look at my favorite ones. So I have a full list of cannabis stocks, and if you want to put this on your watch list, I'd highly recommend it. So make sure to put all of these stocks on one cannabis watch list. But then we have some specific ones that I really, really like this week. And it goes into the first one. I'm actually wearing the shirt today. Reppin' Planet 13, because we made some money off of them last week, and why not try to make some money off of them again if they make the move? This stock just dropped from 40 cents down to 20, 20 back to 30. If we could drop back to 19 or 18, right around this area, I'm looking for a quick bounce. And now this is very illiquid today, but if volume starts to come in, or if it hits key levels, that's usually when volume starts to spike back up. So for now, we got lighter volume, which is fine with me, but it's a good one to keep our eyes peeled on. Another one that we made some good money off of the short last week was CRLBF. I was shorting this one at $2.14 and $2. I covered it way too soon as it cracked on that sell the news day. And I was freaking covering this, sorry for my language, but I was covering this short right here, and we were shorting it all the way up here. I didn't think it was going to be able to get to 150, but I definitely left a couple thousand on the table. That was my fault. But we then took advantage of shorts later, so that's the beauty. We've been kind of tagging bags on these cannabis stocks. Now, from 240 all the way back to 120, I honestly think this could get closer to $1, and if it does, that'll be a good watcher to definitely take advantage of. And then some of these other lighter volume ones, if you want to check out those, I'm not going to go into detail about every single one, but all of these are really, really good watchers in my opinion. CWBHF is interesting to me because this one's kind of doing its own thing right now. Even though MSOS is coming down today, CWBHF's come up. It's also Charlotte's Web. It was like a well-known company way back in the day. It was like a $20 company when I first ever started trading it, like 10 years ago or so, a while ago. But if I would have moved back, I have been trading for 10 years now. See, I was a $20 company all the way back here. But they were like the first CBD company. They're in like CVS, all the above. So if they can get going, the whole thing is he's not trying to legalize cannabis. He's just trying to make it so possible pharmaceutical or Medicare can use it, or Medicaid. And maybe CWBH will be with your Medicaid one day, or with our Medicaid as we grow older. So cool to see that movement. And then we got other ones if you want to add that on. Now to finish off this list, I always like to add other stocks here, but my sector watchers are usually my favorite. So that's why most of my watch list that I just went over with you guys, that was going to be in detail about specifically that one moment and that specific sector. Most of my profit comes from sector momentum. The rest of these stocks, let's see what we get here. But these are just listed opportunities. I got options I like to play and OTCs. Honestly, any type of stock that's going to give me an opportunity, I'm usually going to go after it. And that's what we're going to try to do here. So let's see what we got. We're starting off with DJT. It got a big spike after it got like a $6 billion deal last week in the news. And the spike went from 10 all the way to 17. Now we look for the consolidation day. This is exactly what I wanted. Tomorrow will be the day I probably will try to swing at it if it continues to hold. We need the levels to hold, and then we need the possible turnaround. So we'll see what happens there. But nice start on DJT. And it's honestly, even though it dropped, is exactly what I wanted. Nothing can go straight up, but tomorrow's the more decision day. and we'll see what happens there. NXDR didn't do too much. I'm not going to really look at that. SLS is a clear breakout AI stock. We had it on the watch list before the breakout, so this watch list is released before the day starts. And now we got a clear breakout there. EV stocks are going nice because Tesla has been spiking. FFAI is actually a well-known EV stock that spiked for us in the past. So I like FFAI as a good watcher. I think it's a good one to keep our eyes on here. We'll see if it can create a bigger spike. But Tesla, which is in the options for us, is not a bad watcher either. Just made new 52-week highs, and if Tesla could keep going, I have a list of EV stocks here. FFAI being one of them. Lucid being another one, trying to create a first green day. LCID. Then we have Plug, PLUG as the next one. And then BLNK as the next one. And if you're wondering what you're reading, it's the pattern and it's the stock and then the pattern. And I'm trying to describe to you exactly what I'm looking for here. And then some of the other ones that we got on this list. SIDU was a beautiful overnight mover. We always try to play stocks from one day to the next. On Friday, we had 5 stocks on the overnight watch list. SIDU was one of them. Huge gap up. The rest of these actually all followed up as well. We actually made about 7% overnight. But SIDU was the 100% winner overnight. We'll keep watching that one. Honestly, it's probably going to start to turn into a short in my opinion. But we'll keep our eyes out. And then the one short that I did put on this list is NBY, as it's ran from $1 to $6.40 recently. So if it gets rejected again tomorrow, this is when it starts to look like a short. We'll see. We'll be keeping our eyes on it. Price action is really bullish right now. So you want to be careful and stuff like that. But that is definitely a huge spike that looks like it needs to shoot its way back down. And then getting our way to options. BBAI is a nice watcher for an AI stock, SOUN, and we already talked about Tesla there. So we got some AI watchers. And then to close it off, I always like to do OTC stocks. QNCCF looks like a decent first red day short, to tell you the truth. Look at this opportunity for a possible first red day short. It's gone all the way from $2, and we were buying it on this day at $2.40. It's all the way up now to $4.30. The breakout is technically $3.70, and it just came right to that spot and held it. So that's actually a sign that it's going to hold for now. But I want it to go a little more. Today was a perfect sign to show you that shorts are a little caught up. Shorts thought they were going to win. It literally held the breakout perfectly, and it bounced. Once we crack that spot, that'll show weakness, but we'll be watching that for a first red day. GPHOF, it's a light volume, but it's coming up to breakout. Because we got a lot of metal stocks and silver stocks that are coming up to breakout. GOTRF's a good breakout, or a first green day. We have FGOVF, and these are just some bonus silver gold stocks because gold's holding. KUYAF. BCEKF, that's what this is supposed to be. BCEKF. So just a list of some watchers. Look at this gold one, CHPGF, that just spiked like crazy. So something's going on in the gold and silver sector, and these are always good ones to watch. And then my little bonus one that I wanted to watch, there's a gold stock that's recently been spiking, AABB. Let's keep an eye on this one this week, if it could stay in this range and start going. It got some volume earlier this morning. We'll see if the volume keeps up or it just dies out. But I got my alerts ready for it, and that's what we like to do. So if you're new here, don't go out and buy every single one of these stocks. Treat this watch list like a watch list that you can actually make money with. I always say a newspaper that can make you money. And if you're interested in stuff like this, come check us out in the Stock Mavericks room in Simpler Trading. We would love to have you. There's a $7 trial for the holidays, so come take advantage of that $7 monthly trial. And click that subscribe button if this is videos you'll like, because we'll be coming out with some consistent videos in 2026. Much love. Just recently crossed over the big milestone of $500,000 in profits. So my account has now got over $500,000 in profits. Let's continue to grow that together here. Much love, guys, and let's keep taking it one trade and one day at a time. Happy holidays and Merry Christmas. See you, everybody.